Hey everyone, it's UnsungNPC back here with another class video for today. Today we are going to be talking about the Hunter class, one of my favorite classes. I have dived into this class a lot and have really taken a look at all of the archetypes. I've played around with a couple of them. I played around with a couple of them in Kingmaker on the Class of the Wild modded version, so I'm very excited because this is such a good class. But first, let's talk about this, okay? We've got mostly ranged combat for sure. Okay, some magic, some support, some defense, some melee, a little bit of control. I actually think that there could be way more control than this is letting in on, and we'll get to that as we get into it. The whole thing with this class is that it is all about animal companions, or in some cases your partners, your companions themselves, and teamwork feats. So it's all about that teamwork, either with your animal or with those around you, okay? So, Hunter, high fortitude, high reflex, low will saves, okay? So keep that in mind. That means that at the beginning, you're gonna have +2 fortitude, +2 reflex, +0 will, okay? Base attack bonus is gonna be 0, because it's a 3-4 BAB. Average on these class sheets means 3-4. So you're only gonna get 3 out of your 4 levels of a BAB increase, essentially. And then they get athletics, knowledge world, persuasion, perception, stealth, lore, nature. Honestly, a really good array of skills, especially for a main character. I feel like perception and persuasion are solid. And then covering any of these other ones is also really good. So really good skills. They do spell casting. They are a partial caster. So they do divine nature magic all the way up through 6th level spells. Okay? So not a full caster. And then, starting out with a nice little 8 HP, they cast spontaneously, so they don't do spell slots. And they do use wisdom for their casting ability modifier, just like a ranger or a druid or literally anyone else that uses nature magic except for certain archetypes. Okay? The point of this class, the animal companion. You get to choose from all of them. I don't think there is a single animal companion you can't choose from. I'm pretty sure you get access to all of them in the game. Okay? Proficient with all weapons, all medium, or all armor except for heavy, and all shields except for tower shields. And then you get a thing called animal focus. So animal focus is something that you and your animal companion both get to choose. So your animal companion can choose a focus and then you can choose a focus. They don't have to be the same one. Okay, there's no duration on the animal aspect applied to the animal companion. They just remain there for the animal companion's duration until it's changed. For the hunter, you take it on as a swift action, and it's number of minutes per day equal to your level and can only be used in 1-minute increments. So at level 1, you can use it once per day and it lasts a minute. Level 2, you can use it twice a day and it lasts a minute. Okay, no matter how many times you can use it, it will last a minute. Unless you keep spending your uses, okay? So, we have Bear, which is bonuses to Constitution. Bull is Strength. Falcon gives you bonus to Perception checks. Monkey gives you bonus to Athletics. Mouse gives you Evasion, and then at 12th level, Improved Evasion. Owl gives you bonus to Stealth. Stag gives you increased speed, so 5 foot, and then 10 feet, and then 20 feet. Tiger gives you bonus to Dex, and yeah, there you go. So these are the different animal focuses. Okay, they're generally like skill and stat based. That's kind of the whole point of them. So, and they do The only ones that boost skills, they do only boost skills that you have. So athletics, perception, and stealth are the ones that get boosted through these, and these are all class skills. So at least there's no mismatch there between skills you get boosted and your class skills. You get to have them in one thing, which is nice. And then you also get a +2 to lore nature. Yay. Nature sense. Okay. At second level, you can either take precise shot or outflank as a bonus feat. Okay? So precise shot is for hunters that are going range damage, of course. Lets you take you disregard the -4 penalty on your attack roll when shooting into combat, which is awesome that you get that for free. Really, really cool. And you don't have to take point blank to get it. You don't have to have the prereqs. You can just get this without taking a point blank shot at all, which is crazy. Outflank is for those melee characters out there who, when you and an ally who have the feat are flanking the same creature, then your flanking bonus increases to +4 instead of +2. And if you critically hit, then the other one gets to do an attack of opportunity. So outflank is a really, really good teamwork feat. Hunter tactics. So any teamwork feats you get automatically are given to your animal companion, and they don't have to meet the prereqs. That means any feat you get, your animal companion gets, which means that you don't have to waste time getting any teamwork feats for your animal companion. You can spend your animal companion feats on a bunch of other stuff that you can use and only worry about the teamwork feats through you. That way, you can give them to your animal companion yourself, which is awesome. Saves you a lot of feats. And then third level and every 3 levels thereafter, so 6 times, you get a bonus feat from one of these. You can take the other outflank precise shot, whichever one you didn't take before if you want to. And then you have all of these other teamwork feats. Allied spellcaster, back-to-back, coordinated defense, coordinated maneuvers, precise strike, shake it off, shielded caster, shield wall, seize the moment, tandem trip, which is highly recommend tandem trip when you're doing an animal companion teamwork build, because a lot of animal companions can trip. And if you do tandem trip, it's a lot of tripping going on, okay? Coordinated defense and maneuvers are great. Precise strike is great. Shake it off is something that really everyone on the team should have, to be honest. You don't really need allied spellcaster unless you want to be a more spellcasty hunter, but as a partial caster, I don't recommend it. I recommend just spending spells on buffs, pretty much. You get 6 of those, which is awesome, so you get your bonus teamwork feats. I don't even think there are 6 that I would even... There might be 6 that I would take, maybe not even 6 that I would take. You can really get everything you need with just these 6 bonus feats and call it a day. Second, animal focus. So whenever you use your animal focus ability, you can select 2 different animal aspects instead of 1. And you can assign 2 to your animal companion instead of 1, which is cool. You get the ability to raise animal companion as a spell-like ability. At 16th level, it functions as resurrection. You can rest to heal your animal companion if you need to do that. Don't waste a spell. You can waste a spell, do it if you're going to rest anyway. This is more like if your companion dies in a dungeon and you're in the middle of it and there's no way for you to rest or something, then raising the animal companion allows you to get that companion back for a little bit more time. We've got One with the Wild. One with the Wild. So the hunter and your companion, you can attempt to demoralize all animals within 30 feet as a swift action, as if using Dazzling Display. Is this a good ability? Not really, especially not at 17th level, okay? There are not that animals that you fight in this game, and the ones that you do fight are earlier on in the game. They're not late in the game at all. This late in the game, 17th level, you're fighting demons, okay? Just demons. So is One with the Wild useful? Probably not a great ability. I really don't see the point with it being so late in the game and only affecting animals. But You know, it's there. I don't know if it works on summoned animals. I imagine that it does, because you can fear summoned animals. So I imagine that you can do this with summoned animals. Doesn't make it any better, but it's there. And then Master Hunter. You gain the ability to receive the animal focus benefit any amounts of times per day. So you can use animal focus unlimited times. At 20th level, it's a pretty garbage time to get this ability. But once we get the DLC content and the post-game content for this game, this will actually probably be more useful and, you know, more effective as an ability. So, not great for this campaign because we stop near level 20 only a little bit after maybe, but it depends on how much you do. If you really do 100% on this game, you can probably get level 20 a lot quicker than I did, but still. Okay, the Colluding Scoundrel. So for the most part, the Colluding Scoundrel is the same as the Hunter. There's only 3 things that change. They get rid of 3 abilities and give you 3 new ones, and everything else is the same. And they also change up some skills. Okay? So this is like a Hunter Rogue, basically. And instead of Knowledge World, you get Lore Religion. And then you also get added in Knowledge Arcana. So you get an extra skill on top of that. So Lore Religion, Knowledge Arcana. So instead of Animal Focus, you get Scapegoat. So it just replaces all the animal focus stuff. Okay? So Scapegoat. What happens is a number of times per day equal to your Hunter level. As a swift action, you can target a foe within 30 feet of you. Designate an ally who's going to act as the scapegoat, and then for the following minute, okay, the target takes a -2 penalty on attacks against any creature other than the designated scapegoat. Ooh. 10% spell failure chance on targets that don't affect the scapegoat or include it in their AoE. This increases to -4 at level 8 and -6 at level 15. And you can designate your animal companion as a scapegoat, which is what I would probably be doing, because animal companions are expendable in the sense that they don't ever die forever, like your companions do. So being able to call on, be like, go attack my dog over there, and then your dog has to get attacked, otherwise they will take down severe penalties to their attacks and spells, which is really nice ability. And you have Backstabber, so you deal 2d6 additional damage on attacks against an ally or a target that's threatened by an ally currently designated as the scapegoat, and then 3d6 later on. It's precision damage, not multiplied on a critical hit, but does stack with sneak attack. Okay? So yeah, you could designate your animal companion, for example, as a scapegoat, and if they're attacking someone, and if you go behind and attack them, or you don't have to go behind them, but if you attack them as well, then you deal more damage to them. So this is definitely more of a melee build. So, but it doesn't say melee damage required. It says deals 2d6 points of damage on attacks. It doesn't say melee attacks, it says attacks. So technically, you could do this as a ranged character. And then you get Master Backstabber. So as a standard action, you can make a single attack that's taking the penalties of the scapegoat ability, okay? And then if the attack hits, they take damage normally and must succeed at a fortitude save or be killed immediately, okay? And then you can use this as many times as you want. You just can't use it on the same person more than once, even if you fail. But it's a fortitude saving throw, so don't get your hopes up. We are talking about demons here, and they have really high fortitudes. So this is a really cool archetype. I like the animal focus ability better, but if you're going pure damage route and not a whole lot more utility purpose, then I feel like this could be good. But 2d6, 3d6 damage is a lot of damage, but with the animal focus, you could increase your dex by like a lot. Eventually becoming +6 enhancement to dex. But it is an enhancement bonus, which means it doesn't combine with item enhancements like belts. So they would clash. They would conflict. That is something to think about, actually. I definitely like Master Backstabber than I like Master Hunter. I don't know. I still like Animal Focus a lot, but it offers just a little bit more utility. But this is a really good pure damage hunter for sure. Very good pure damage hunter, without giving anything up, really. The Divine Hound. So the Divine Hound, you can only have a dog or a wolf, okay? It's the Divine Hound, so you have to have a hound. You don't use Animal Focus here either. We get Companion Judgment. Okay, so anytime you use the Judgment ability, the companion also gets the Judgment. That's cool. That's awesome. That's really strong, actually. Because you get all of the Inquisitor Judgments. So Destruction for damage bonus, Healing for fast healing, Justice for attack rolls, Piercing for making spells more potent, Protection for armored class, Purity for saving throws, and Resistance for energy resistance. And then you can, because you have this ability, you can also take the feats True Judgment and Everlasting Judgment. You can now use judgments any number of times per day. Wow, that's a cool thing. And then level 20th level ability there. Anyway, very cool. And then you get your judgments. Eventually you get 6 times. Okay, 6 points. Right? And then you get second judgment, so you can do 2 at one time. Okay, instead of just 1. And then eventually you get your third judgment, so you can do 3 at one time, which is awesome. In terms of comparing this to Animal Focus, normally I would put this as like the Hunter Plus, but I'm not, because you're limited to only having one of 2 different animal companions. Arguably 2 of the best, in my opinion. Wolf and dog both get Trip, and Trip is like the best animal companion ability, in my opinion. But I'm not going to say it's Hunter Plus, because you don't get any animal companion you want. If you did, this would be Hunter Plus for sure. Judgment's a great ability. One of the best parts about being an Inquisitor and bringing it over to the Hunter is super strong, super powerful. Very, very good ability. That can mix with all kinds of playstyles. Can be very damage focused, has a lot of utility to it though as well. Very good, strong archetype. Next we have the Divine Hunter. So the Divine Hunter trades away all of the teamwork feat stuff for the sake of 2 things. 1, you get to make your companion, your animal companion, either a fiend or a celestial. Okay? If you're good, they are celestial. If you're evil, they are a fiend. If you're neutral, you can choose. And then you get those templates, which gives you special bonuses. So they get these things at different levels. Okay, so they get spell resistance equal to its level +5 for fiendish. Levels 1 through 4, they get resistance 5 to cold and fire. 5 through 10 is resistance 10, and DR 5 good. 11 onward is resistance 15 to cold and fire, and DR 10 good, and they get smite good once per day. So you can smite a good creature. Not the best. There's not a lot of good enemies. I wouldn't choose fiendish. I feel like fiendish would bite you in the ass. This game honestly doesn't set you up to play an evil character very well at all. Like it does in like your mythic powers sense, but there's so many class abilities that are good against good characters, and we just don't fight any of them. We really don't. And then Celestial is cold, electricity, and acid. and then DR evil, and then smite evil once per day, which is a very powerful ability. Like, giving your companion smite is insane. That's really cool. And then you also get a domain. So you gain the powers from the domain at your level -2 to equal your cleric level. Okay. If the Divine Hunter selects the animal domain, you do not get a second animal companion. So no trying to cheese that. You cannot have 2 animal companions, you only get 1. Okay? When the Divine Hunter would gain that ability, her animal companion instead gains 2 ability score point increases. +1 to 2 different ability scores, or +2 to the same. Which is really cool. And then you add the domain spells to your spell level list. So you get a domain, and your animal companion takes on a certain like otherworldly template, which is cool. I don't know how strong this is. I feel like it depends on how much of the domain powers you really enjoy. I see some domain powers as really powerful, and I see some spells in here that could be really good. My issue, though, is like giving up the teamwork feats for it is a huge hit, because teamwork feats are a core part of being a hunter, and also what makes the hunter really strong. So I guess the idea is like your companion can now kind of handle itself on its own, but I don't know. I don't really think I like it as much as like even a regular hunter. I prefer the teamwork abilities, but that's up to me, and you guys can make your own decision. So, Forester. Remember how I was saying before that there was going to be an archetype where you could choose your allies instead of your animal companion? This is the one, okay? No animal companions here, allies only. So you get your animal focus, but it only applies to you, okay? And you give up hunter tactics, but you get tactician, okay? Like a cavalier. So you can give your teamwork feats to all allies within 30 feet. They can use it for 3 rounds +1 every 2 levels. And then you can keep doing it. You can do it once per day, then another one at 7th, and then another one every 5 levels thereafter. Okay? Bonus combat feats on top of your bonus teamwork feats. So you're getting at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope. Yeah, 10. 10 bonus feats. That is a lot of bonus feats. That's like being a fighter, essentially. But they are limited to teamwork for more than half of them. But still really cool. You get favored terrain like a ranger. So +2 to initiative, lore, nature, perception, stealth. Okay. And then you can choose any of these terrains: abyss, desert, forest, highlands, underground, urban. And then you get a lot of self-sufficient stuff. Okay, so camouflage. And then you get Breath of Life as a spell-like ability, which, you know, having everyone have a Breath of Life or something like that on hand is not anything to sniff at. Like, it's a nice ability to have in a clutch situation. You get evasion and improved evasion. Okay, so evasion allows you to take So evasion. You also get evasion. Evasion allows you to take no damage on a successful save, and then improved allows you to take only half on a failed save. And then on top of camouflage, you'll get hide in plain sight, so you can use camouflage in any terrain, not just your favored ones. And then you also get terrain expertise. So you learn total expertise over one terrain, which you have already selected as a favored terrain. So you treat that favorite terrain bonus for that terrain as a favored enemy bonus. Oh, gotcha. So this bonus overlaps. Each terrain dominance grants additional abilities. So this is against demons for saving throws. Okay, saving throws against fire, saving +4 insight bonus to mobility, +4 to athletics, +4 to perception, +4 to persuasion. And you get 3 of these. So this is a very self-sufficient hunter who focuses on tactics and teamwork feats with their companions more so than an animal companion. This is the kind of thing that I would choose, because I am all about my friends, and if I was playing a character more like me, this is what I would go with for sure. Just, boost up my friends, be knowledgeable about my environment, the terrain. That's kind of my shtick. So this is definitely the archetype I would choose. Not gonna call it Hunter Plus because it's just a completely different hunter. But it's a really strong archetype. You really can't go wrong with it if you don't want to use an animal companion. Urban Hunter. Okay, Urban Hunter is very similar to Hunter, but slightly alters some things. One being that you can only have a dog or a horse. This is like a city-going hunter kind of thing, so it's only going to give you animals that you would find in a city, like a dog or a horse, right? No giant centipedes here. You give up all of your teamwork abilities for animal insight. So as long as you and your companion are within 30 feet of each other, you both gain bonuses to perception checks equal to half your level and +2 to saving throws against mind affecting effects. And then you get Frightful Ferocity at some point, where you can each attempt a Intimidate check to demoralize someone as a swift action. So this is like a targeted... It's not targeted. Okay, it's Frightful Ferocity is an area of 30-foot burst centered on the caster. So it's kind of like Dazzling Display, I guess. But both of you can do it. So it's 2 areas. If you're far away enough, then both of you can, cover the battlefield with demoralization, which is really cool. Then you get Captor. So at 6th level and every 3 levels thereafter, you select a bonus feat from a following list to be gained by both you and your companion. Okay, you don't have to meet the prereqs. So your feats: Bull Rush, Dirty Trick, Disarm, Trip. These are going to be combat maneuvers. Okay, so this is like the combat maneuver, mechanic archetype for the hunter. But your animal companion also gets these, which is really cool because you can get a horse with Trip, which is cool. Or, your dog can disarm or something like that, which is really awesome. And then you get combat reflexes, greater, all of those tricks, and then lunge. Okay? So you're getting 5 of these. So basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick 2 of these, because you get 2 of these lower level ones. So I would pick 2 to stick with, and then I would get the greater versions of both of them. And then for your last one, you can go ahead and get like combat reflexes or lunge. Just go ahead and take one of those. But I would stick to 2, then take 2 greater, and then take combat reflexes or lunge. Pick one. And then call it a day. That's my recommendation, just to focus on those different abilities. And honestly, out of these abilities, I would take Trip and Disarm, because they are by far the most useful in my opinion. Dirty Trick's kind of cool, but can be very tricky. And then Bull Rush is so basic. It's not as effective as other things. Tripping's the best. Disarming is also great, but you also have to think about that a lot of demons do have natural attacks, so maybe Disarm's not the best one. I mean, there are lots of demons with weapons, But there are also lots of demons with natural attacks, and disarming isn't going to work if they don't have a weapon in hand. So you might want to try something else like Dirty Trick or something. But very cool, like, you know, combat maneuver, you and your dog, you and your horse teaming up kind of combo, which is always a fun time. And then we have Wandering Marksman. So Wandering Marksman gives up teamwork feats, okay, for planned distraction. So when you attack an enemy who is engaged with your animal companion, then you gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls, and then +2, and then +3. That's pretty nice. Like a solid +3 eventually, +2, you know, not that far in the game to attack and damage rolls on all your attacks is pretty nice. You just have to really target focus. You have to focus target on your enemies one by one instead of splitting up. Self-reliance, whenever your animal companion is 10 feet or more away from you, then it gets a morale bonus equal to +1 for each of the hunter's 4 levels to its AC, which is really cool. So this is a great archetype. I mean, it's called Wandering Marksman, so it's a good ranged archetype because if you're far away from your companion, they'll gain the AC bonus and eventually becomes a +5, which is really nice. And 10 feet's pretty easy to manage, I would say. Emergency swap. As a standard action, you and your animal companion can swap places without provoking attacks or opportunity, which is just awesome. And it says within 30 feet, and then this one's within 30... No, wait, where was it? Nah, okay. It says within 30 feet area. So with that, if you get point blank shot and just toggle it on, you'll always be within 30 feet of the enemy. And if you and your animal companion are always targeting the same one like you're supposed to, then you'll always be within 30 feet. You'll always be more than 10 feet away, and you can cover all 3 of these, no problem. And then you've got imminent attack. So as a standard action, you can shoot an ammunition 3 times per day that marks all enemies in 10 feet area as prey. Whoa. So against such creatures, Animal Companion gets +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls, bypass DR and Cold Iron, Mithril, Adamantine, and Hardness. Whenever the Animal Companion kills a marked enemy, all its attacks' critical range increases by 1 until the end of combat. Multiple applications of this effect stack, so eventually you'll have a +3 to critical range. That is so awesome. This is such a good ability, and it's only at level 15 that you get this. That's still a huge chunk of game left at the end there for you to mess around with this ability for all those higher level demons. This is a really good archetype. Honestly, I haven't messed around with... This is like the one in here that I haven't really messed around with that much, and it might be one of my top ones in here. Like Forester... I would say Forester and Divine Hound are probably my 2 favorite. Just because Judgment ability is too good, and I love the self-reliant and like terrain abilities given to you here for more versatile utility purposes. So those 2 are my favorite. If I had to throw away any of these, I would probably throw away the Divine Hunter, because I just don't think a domain is worth it for giving up all of your teamwork stuff. Urban Hunter is cool, it's just more tricky to use. I don't like combat maneuvers if I can avoid them. And then Wandering Marksman just seems really powerful, especially that imminent attack ability. This requires some micromanaging to make this happen. You don't want to lose track of your companion or have them fight someone that's not one of the marked prey, but it seems worth it to me to make it happen. And then Colluding Scoundrel's pretty solid too. I mean, you can do this ranged, but it's still a really good melee. This is probably the best melee one out of all of these. Forester could be good melee too. And then even base Hunter is fine. I would say there's not even a Hunter plus. I think that each of these offers up something that's different enough from the base that I wouldn't call it Hunter. I wouldn't call any of them Hunter Plus. I would just say that Hunter is solid by itself. Like, I think this is the only class so far that we've gone over where the base class, I think, is worth taking on its own without multi-classing or without an archetype if you don't want to. Because it is a really strong class. A lot of the hybrid classes in Pathfinder are, and this is one of the hybrid classes. It's part ranger, part fighter. So hybrid classes are all pretty solid. Very, very awesome class. One of my favorite classes in the game, to be honest. I love nature magic. I love animal companions. I think it's a fantastic class. So that is the Hunter. Super awesome. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I am UnsungNPC. If you like this video, give it a like, do a subscribe, join the Discord. It's gonna be fun times. We would love to have you. Anyway, I'm UnsungNPC, and I will catch you guys in the next one.